Hi, hi.
Hey!
Hey.
Hi, I'm Colonel Jeff Palazzini. I'm the commander of the emergency field office here in charge of the Palisades Fire area, and we're at the Will Rogers State Historic Park temporary debris staging and reduction or recycling area. So what we do here is all of the local concrete and also the green debris that we get from our debris removal comes right here to Will Rogers State Park. You see some of the operation behind me. And this is where we reduce the material, so make it smaller, either crush the concrete or shred the vegetative debris, mostly trees, and we make that smaller, and then we're able to haul more of it off from here to recycling centers. So having this TDSR, as we call it, again, the temporary debris staging and recycling area, having this local here in Will Rogers really has a few benefits. It allows less trucks on the road, it reduces gas consumption, fuel consumption, and it reduces emissions. And that's because we're local to where much of the debris is being collected here in the Palisades. The trucks come straight here with the big chunks of concrete. You see some of it already reduced in the background here. They crush it even further. They remove the rebar, and so you see the big pile of rebar there. They separate that, and then it goes into this big machine here. You see a bunch of the conveyor belts. It's not running right now, but that's the crusher or the concrete pulverizing machine right there. Concrete goes in the big hopper, and each stage gets crushed smaller and smaller until it results in this fairly fine material, the large piles you see behind me, and that crushed concrete can be recycled and reused in the construction process. So we're walking towards both the crushed concrete pile, but if we head this way a little bit, you'll see the trees in the background. That's called green waste or vegetative debris. One of the major reasons why we stood up the Will Rogers State Park site was because at the 𝗙𝗘𝗟𝗏 site, which I think you've already seen a little bit, we don't have and we're not able to fit our green waste there. And so here we have this large wood chipping machine. And some of the trees, many of the trees that have to be removed because they're fire damaged, we bring them here. They get chipped. When we're doing chipping operations, there's a large truck here to catch the chipped trees, and then that gets carted away and recycled. And see all these trees you see in the background here, these piles of logs, those are from fire damaged sites. They were within the ash footprint and had to be removed, and so they get chipped here in this large chipper and carted away for recycling. The device you see right here is one of the two air quality monitoring stations that we have on site here in Will Rogers State Park. We have these also on station in the 𝗙𝗏𝗟𝗏 TDSR, and these are monitoring air quality. Of course, one of our priorities here in this entire operation is both the safety and the public health of the people of the Palisades and Malibu and LA cities. And so we have these air quality monitoring stations set up. They report live to South Coast Air Quality Management Division and also to LA County Public Health. And they look for specific particulates, 2.5 microns and 10 microns, that may impact human health. So far, they have been live all the time. No significant reports out of either one of these sites. And if they do alarm, or if they were to alarm, the site would shut down and they'd evaluate what's causing the air quality. And it's really if there are particulates in the air. But so far, we've had no significant issues at either of the sites. So our operation here in 𝗙𝗪𝗓𝗄 State Historic Park is an important part of two of our priorities. One of those is to safely remove the debris from the Palisades Fire impact area, and that safety comes into play because trucks have less distance to drive to get rid of some of their concrete and their vegetative loads. And so having this central to the fire impact area reduces the number of trucks on the road. Having crushed concrete instead of large chunks of concrete means less trucks on the road as well. It also relates to safely or quickly removing the debris. And so having a local site where we're able to bring the material that then gets recycled, the faster we can do that, the faster the trucks turn around, dump their debris, and then get back to the sites that they're getting loaded up on, the faster we can turn and clear properties. And so this site and also the 𝗙𝗧𝗨𝗥 site, really important to that, both safety and the speed of the debris removal here in the Palisades Fire impact area. Crushing machine here. It goes through a series of cycles to crush the concrete into smaller and smaller parts until you get the final product, and then we're able to conveyor belt it out. And depending on the height of the pile, we can adjust these conveyor belts. The pile's getting a little high right now because of the road work that's happening in the entrance, so we weren't able to unload out of here last night. A little reduced quickly as we send it to its next stage of the cycle. Here you can see in the background the loader just dumped in the very large pieces of concrete. So those large pieces of concrete in that first hopper will then get crushed into the next stage and then on into the pile. If we come around here, you should be able to maybe get a shot of the loader dumping in the concrete. You'll see the guy at the top there spraying down the concrete every so often.
Oh yeah.
We use the wet method all around. You see the roads are very wet, and so dust control is a really important part of this operation. We have misters, we have people with hoses, and so there's a constant flow of water on the site to make sure dust stays contained. That's a big part of the air monitoring stations not detecting any sizable particles because of the amount of water that we have on site keeping the dust contained. These bits of metal. Most of the rebar that you see here, it gets separated before it gets put into the crusher, but there are pieces that do make their way through. And so these gentlemen pull out those pieces of metal so it doesn't go into the recyclable portion of the concrete. So this orange fan and that pressurized hose system there, you see some of the methods that we use to keep the concrete wet and to keep the dust down.
I see right there.
So that's, yeah, that mister right there is keeping the concrete wet, dust to a minimum, as well as that hose on the other side.
Very nice. Where did you travel here from?
So my home district is Alaska. I'm the district commander of the Alaska district. We're responsible for the Army Corps of Engineers projects throughout the state of Alaska. I've been here for about 3 weeks. I've been in command in Alaska for about 2 years.
Wow. And while you were down here, have you seen any kind of major accidents?
This is an incredibly safe operation, and so our priorities are not just the safety and the public health of the community, but it's the Corps of Engineers employees and the contractors that work for us as well. We pride ourselves on safely delivering quality projects on time and under budget, and that's not changed here in this emergency scenario. One of the great benefits of being here in Will Rogers State Park is that we've also been able to award a recent contract for $2.6 million that's going to remove the fire debris from the state park as well. That maybe wouldn't ordinarily be part of the FEMA mission. Since we have this temporary debris staging site here, we were also able to clear the debris from the state park. And so you see both here right next to me and in the background a little bit with some of those chimneys. Unfortunately, some of the historic structures here also burned in the fire. So that contract that we recently awarded will remove the debris from the state park. There will be archaeological monitoring on site as they remove that debris and hopefully preserve as much as possible, while also getting that fire ash into a place that's more controlled, and then the state park can go about figuring out what they're going to do with those sites afterwards. All right, so for an overall update on the mission here in the Palisades Fire area, we're estimating about 4,400 ROEs will come to us. There are still a few, although the ROE period is closed, county and FEMA are still working through the last one. So we're estimating there will be about 4,400 ROEs. So far, we have cleared over 2,600 properties. So we're making really great progress. This clearance is going at a historic pace while still being safe, still maintaining the public health. We're really proud of that response. There are over 400 Army Corps of Engineers employees from all over the nation here assisting with this response, both here and the Eaton fires. We are proud to be part of the response, assisting the community to both safely and quickly clear their debris and then be able to get back to maybe a bit of normalcy and to get to the business of rebuilding. We're proud to be here and building strong. Kind of see it all there. You see the mister, the orange mister.
Oh yeah.
Keeping the concrete pile wet there. You see the crusher crushing the concrete, separating some of the rebar out, and then you see the loader bringing the loads into the hopper. So the whole operation, and then the result of the operation, crushed concrete that can be recycled and entered back into the construction stream right here.
Well, thank you so much, Commander Palazzini. It was nice for you to give me a tour and give us an update on what's happening here at Will Rogers.
Thanks for your interest in what the Army Corps is doing.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.